Hello everyone! Thank you for joining me and watching this video. Today we will be making notebook holder. This one is a little bit different. This notebook holder has two sections of 3-pack notebooks that I purchased from Dollar Tree. It will have pen holder and it will have a little file folder. So to make this notebook and file folder holder, we will need cardstock. I chose black because I will use lighter paper. This is going to be my cover. So I think that the contrast between both is going to be really nice. So I do have full sheet of cardstock. The sheet is 11 by about 8.5, and I pre-cut one piece that is 5.5 by 8.5. For this we will use I think this is 1/2 inch. Yes, 1/2 inch double-sided tape. So I will tape those two pieces together and we will do it with the tape. I prefer glue, but I do want to give you exact dimensions, and that's why I chose to use tape for this project, but you could use glue. I will see, the tape is my guide. If you choose to use glue, just make sure that you are using 1/2 inch to overlap between those two pieces, because those are the dimensions that I'm working with. So let me remove the tape. And we're gonna glue this. Okay, this way I know that my overall dimension will not change. An overall dimension will be 12, approximately 15 and 3/4. But if you use double-sided tape 1/2 inch or you glue 1/2 inch, you're gonna have exactly the same dimensions as I have. So we need to score this piece. Okay, so when we score, just make sure that we are beginning with the full-size sheet. So my glue joint is right here. So we're gonna score this at 6 inches and 7 inches. So what we need to do now, I'm gonna fold over the 7-inch score, just like that, and I'm gonna butt this against my stop in here because the next score it's gonna be at 6 inches. So I'm trying to push this at the same time to make sure that my score is butt right into my stop. So now we're gonna score at 6 and at 7. So I did that because it's such a long piece, and this, if you do it this way, it's gonna give you a little bit more control over the scores. So now we're gonna fold every score, and you can see that we are already getting the shape of our piece, and the score ends up being on the back, and that's what we want. So now I'm gonna bring my pieces that I already pre-cut for the front, and let me give you dimensions. I have 2 pieces, and those are gonna go to cover the spine. The 2 pieces are 7/8 by 8. I have 1 piece that is 1 3/4 by 8, and I have 2 pieces that are 5 3/4 by 8, and that will cover the front of our piece. So I will start with the front. Let me just put those pieces away. So I think I'm gonna put it this way and this way. Okay, so let's glue those pieces. I don't know which one is prettier, but they are about the same. I'll use this one. So let's apply the glue all the way around. And we're gonna try to center this on our page. And just like that, I'm looking at edges all around, and this will work for me. Okay, the front is done. Now we're gonna work on the back. Okay, I'm gonna try to center this one. At the same time, I am looking at the top and the bottom in here to make sure that this is just about even. It does not have to be perfect. When you actually put this together, you won't be able to see it, you know, kind of front and the back, but I try to center as much as I can. So now we're gonna glue this piece right here, and that's gonna be for our flap. Just like that. Okay, I think that's positioned just right. So let's make sure it sticks. And now we will cover the front of the spine. Just like that. Let's make sure it sticks. A little glue coming off, but that's okay. This glue dries clear, so you won't be able to see it. And let's do the other spine. There you go. Just make sure it sticks. And our cover is done. So now we will work on the inside. I have pieces also pre-cut already, and they are basically the same dimensions as the front, and I will repeat them. This one is actually 3/4. I got 2 pieces by 8. We have 1 piece that is 1 3/4 by 8. We got 2 pieces that are 5 3/4 by 8, and that's gonna cover the inside of our, I guess we can call it folio. Now the piece that will be in between the front and the back, actually on the spine, it is a little bit smaller than the front, a little bit narrower because of those scores, and we want to make sure that nothing gets close to them, otherwise you will have a problem folding it. They will start buckling, and we don't want that. So now we're gonna glue all of those pieces onto our cover. Okay, so this is gonna be right here on the front, and again I'm trying to align it, and I'm trying not to go too close to that score. So let's just make sure it sticks. And now I will do this one. Again, when I'm positioning them, I'm looking at the bottom and I'm looking at both scores on both sides to make sure that I have on the same level the bottom piece as this one. And I do not want to get too close to that score. But the way the piece is cut, as long as you try to put it on the center, you should be fine. So now let's do the spine. And I'm gonna do this spine first. Okay. And let's do this piece. Also, it's also a good idea to double check if your cuts are made to the size that will fit. This one is just a little bit too wide, so I am gonna trim it off because I'm getting too close to the edge and I have very little room to play where the score is. So I am gonna trim it maybe 1/16 just to give me a little bit more of that playroom. So now you can see I have little edge left right here, and I am not right on top of the score, which this is gonna be perfect. Just like that. And I'm trying to line up with the bottom. If the bottom is lined up, your top will be just fine. So now let's make sure this sticks. So for the second spine, this one, I'm gonna show you what we have in the one that I made. I have a little band for the pen. So we will work on that before we actually glue the piece. So for that, I have a little leftover piece, which I will cut. It doesn't matter what the length is gonna be, but I think for the width, I want only 1 inch. So I'm gonna cut out just the 1 inch, and I will show you why the length does not really matter. So let me take this pen out. And what we're gonna do, we need to, when we create the band, we're gonna have to glue it. So to get the dimension for the band, I'm gonna wrap it around just like that, and I will put just a tiny bit of glue right here. Just so when I'm wrapping this around, I can glue one side of it. Just like that. Because now I know it's gonna hold. So this is the side that is glued, and I will cut off a little piece right here. So we're gonna fold this and glue it right underneath. Just like that. So now you can see there is glue in here. So now we can put our pen, and what I'm doing, I'm actually putting the widest part of the pen, I'm putting right here because I want to make sure that the pen will fit when you are trying to put this in. Just like that. It's a little bit snug, but it will work. So what I'm gonna do, I am gonna mark with the pencil where my fold line and my glue line is gonna be. And now I'm gonna try to put this, I'm gonna fold this over just like that. And I will glue this to the back, but I will cut, this is too long, so I will cut small piece out of here, out of this. And let me apply the glue. Now you could use double sticking tape, and actually tape would work perfectly for this because it's not, you want to make sure that that gets glued. So I'm positioning that, and let me just push it a little bit from inside. The piece is glued. And now we can glue our spine, just as we would normally glue it. So you see, it's really not that difficult to create a pen holder or pencil holder. Okay, and again, I'm lining up the bottom so I know that the top will be just fine. So let me squish this to make sure it will adhere, just like that. And our cover on the inside is done. So here is the legal pad that I bought from Dollar Tree store. It's actually one legal pad, but it does have 3 different sections. And I used 2 sections in this project. So I will remove one, and you could use all 3 sections, but if you do that, you may have to adjust the dimensions of your spine on both sides, because now the project is going to be a little bit thicker if you decide to use all 3 of them. I wanted to use only 2. I do have plan for the 3rd one. I will do something with that one. So now we need to glue, or we need to position our notepad, and for that I don't have dimensions for this. It does not matter how wide it is. You don't want to make it too narrow. You want to make sure that it will hold the notebook in place. So this one is 3 3/4, which I think it's going to be just perfect. So what we're going to do, I want to make sure that this notepad is removable. So whenever it's being used up, we can always put new notepad and keep on using this holder. So what I'm gonna do, I turned it around, and I'm gonna put this paper right underneath all the way to the top. Because when you put this notepad into your holder, you want to make sure that the piece that is actually holding the notepad in place, it's towards the top. Otherwise, if it's gonna be placed in here, then you know that the notepad is gonna slide and it's gonna stick out on the bottom of your holder. So that's why it's important to position this all the way on the top. And I'm gonna fold over one side. Now, when I have this fold, I wanna make sure that it's easy to put the notepad in and out when you wanna replace it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just pull it back a little bit. And over here, I don't know if you can see, but it's about 1/8 of an inch of playroom that I'm planning to leave. And now when I close it, you can see that I should have no problem changing this notepad. And I will just score this just like that, and don't make it too tight. Just fold it over just like that, and we will place glue right here. We will glue those two pieces together. So I'm gonna put strip of glue right here, and we're gonna close this. Let's make sure it's squished so the glue adheres. You don't want any glue on your notepad, otherwise it's gonna get stuck. So now you can see we can remove this very easily, but at this point I am not gonna remove it because we do have it on the top in a position how we want in our folder, folio, however you want to call this. And we're gonna position this not in a, I'm not gonna position this in the middle, because don't forget that you have a pen in here. So when we put pen in on the inside, you gotta be able to close it so the pen has a little bit room, and you can see it from the top that it will. So I am gonna try to position in the center, well, in the center, but move it just a tiny bit to the side. So when you really look at it, you don't see that the notepad is skewed, but there is a little bit more playroom in there. So now I'm gonna apply the glue only to that band that we just made, and don't go too close to the top or the bottom, because we do not want to glue that notepad to the band. So now I'm going to try to position. I'm looking at the bottom, and I'm happy the way it is, just like that. So let's just push it a little bit so that sticks. I'm gonna open it just like that, and I'm gonna try to squish it just to make sure that the glue actually sticks. Okay, so now you can see we can remove it really easily, the notepad, and we can easily put it right back in. So whenever you want to change it, you will not have any issues. So let's remove the pen, and now we will work on this folder right here. So let me put this aside. Okay, so for this next step, I need to bring my scoreboard back. And I have pre-cut piece that is actually 11.5 by 8. Okay, for the next step, I do have pre-cut piece. It's 11.5 by 8, and I have another piece that is 3 3/4 by 8. So now this longer piece or larger piece, we will score at 5 and 5.5, and then we will score at 10.5 and 11. The smaller piece, and this piece is 3 3/4, but this is the piece that I had left. You could have 3 inches, 3.5. It does not really matter for what we're gonna use it for. But since I have 3 3/4, then we need 1.5, 1/4. That's gonna be 1 7/8. I am just gonna score at 1 7/8, and that's scoring right at the middle. So if you have piece that is 4 inches long, you just score it in a half, which would be 2. All right. So now this larger piece we will fold on our scores, just like that, and you can see that our file folder, it's almost created. That's why we needed those scores. Just score it a little more. Okay. So now this smaller piece, we will fold it in half, because you see we run out of paper on this side. This is too short for us to close it. So I wanted to create something just to extend the flap and also give it a little bit more of a bulk on the middle, because we will be placing little velcro dots, so to make sure when you open it you don't really bend this. So it's because we are using double layer, it's going to be a little bit more sturdy. So what we're going to do now, we will glue this piece. So you see this is the leftover of the front. I'm going to put this piece right underneath, just like that, against the fold on both sides. And first we're going to glue that flap. Oops, I got the wrong glue. This is the one I was using. So I'm just gonna put the glue on that little flap, and let's fold this over just like that. Let's make sure it sticks. And now we are able to glue this piece on top of it. So let me put the glue right here. Just like that. Let's get this nice and stuck. So now you see we have this flap, and it is a little bit thicker. It has a little bit substance to it. So this is what I was looking for. So now we will be working on the inside of the folder. Okay, so for this next part, I got two pieces and I'm just using white cardstock. You could use design paper, you could use anything you like, because whatever we are making right now, it's going to be here on the side. So because there's a little bit white in here, I figure I can use white cardstock. So this is a 5 by 5 square and we need two of them. So we're gonna score the entire piece every half an inch. So half an inch, 1 inch, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, and 4.5. And we do the same thing to the second piece. Every half an inch. 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, and 4.5. So now we will fold this piece, both of those pieces. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna fold at the back and then we're gonna fold to the front. Fold to the back and fold to the front. Back and front. So basically what we are trying to make is a little accordion. Just like that. So we want to make sure that the end pieces on both sides, they are facing the same direction. And so we're going to make the same thing with this piece. Back, just like that. Okay, now we have two pieces. So in addition to those pieces, we will need 4 pieces, which I already have pre-cut, 5 by 8 and 1/8. So we need 4 pieces. And what we're gonna do, we will start creating a folder. Now, when I mentioned to you that those pieces, they have to be the same direction, because this is gonna be glued to one side of the folder and this one to the other side, and you want to make sure that they are facing inside. This is the reason. So for the next step, before we get ready, we need to make sure that this piece will be facing the opposite piece on the same side, because now we will start gluing our separators. So this first piece will get glued onto here. So we're not going to do anything with this one, but the first folded piece that you have, we're going to apply glue. We're going to apply glue right here. And what we're going to do, we're going to take this 5 by 8 and 1/8, and we're gonna glue it right here, just like that. And we're gonna do the same thing to this side. This is the first piece that will get glued to the cover, so we're not doing anything in here, but we're gonna put glue. I got glue stuck to my finger. We're gonna place glue right here on the top of the first folded piece. Just like that. And now we're gonna put this on the inside. And we just created our first separator. Just like that. And we're going to do the same thing to the other one. So here's the next fold over. So let's just fold it, and we apply glue right here, just like that. I'm going to take the second sheet and position in here, making sure that the top and the bottom are straight. And we're gonna adhere that right here, and we do the same thing to the other side. So on the other side, you see we got this sheet glued in here, so this one we're gonna glue to the next fold over piece, just like that, making sure that the top and the bottom is straight. So just make sure that that sticks. And we got already 2 pieces done. So now we have 2 more to go, and we will repeat the same step. So I'm gonna put this right here, just like that. I can open that. I'm gonna make sure that that adheres. And we do the same thing to the next one. Fold this over and make sure that it's straight on both sides. I'll just squish it a little bit just to make sure that it adheres. And we have only 1 more left. So we do the same thing. There's only 1 fold left. So let's apply the glue right here. And we're gonna position the last sheet. Let's make sure it's even. Just like that. And we do the same thing to this side. Just like that. Position so it's straight. And don't worry if it buckles in here, it's supposed to do that, because when it opens up, it actually gets straight. So now, this is what we have. Now, what I did in this one, I made little opening in here, just like that. So I have little die cut press. So what I did, I actually measured. We know that individual sheets, they were 8 and 1/8. So approximately 4 inches. I can make it little mark, 4 and 1/16. So I made little mark, and if you twist it a little bit, you can extend this mark into the other papers. So now, the last one doesn't have it, but I can just mark it right here. So now I have a mark where I want to die cut this. And what I found is that the easiest way to do it is actually look at the back, and you can see where you are. And I'm trying to center that little dot. And we got our die cut. And I'm gonna do the same thing to the other pieces, but I do need to see what I'm doing. So here's gonna be the next one. And they really don't have to be perfect, but I think it gives that extra really nice look to your file holder. And I do the same thing in here, and we have our cuts. I can also make it cut in here, because this is our flap. So that's how this is gonna look right here. We're gonna glue it together right here. So I can make the cut on this piece also, and that's what I have done in my sample that I showed you. So I'm gonna mark this on a paper right here, and I will do the same thing. So I'm gonna put it through here, approximately halfway. The cut is done. So now what we need to do is actually glue these folders into the frame. And I will start with the front. Wherever we have that notch, that's going to be our front. And I will do one side at a time. So I would put glue in here. I'm going to position this. I'm trying to position this nice right against the edge. And I think this should do. And I am just gonna run through it just to make sure it's stuck. So this side is glued. Now we're gonna concentrate on this one, and we will do the same thing. I'm gonna apply glue to the white piece right here on the back, to our accordion. And I'm gonna position this so it's nice and straight. I don't want to see any white right here. So this one shifted a little bit. Let's put it back, and that should do it. So this is our front, this is our back. So we're gonna do the same thing to the back, and we're gonna work one side at a time. So I'm gonna place glue right here, fold this over, and again I'm gonna pay attention So I glue this and I don't see any white sticking out. So I can squish it now a little bit just to make sure that this glue is distributed. And we got perfect side to our folder, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to apply glue right here. Just like that, and I'm going to push this a little bit in. Just like that. Let me position this. Here you go. Now we're gonna squish this to make sure that it sticks. Just like that. And if you see a little bit white on the back, it doesn't really matter too much because we will, this is not holding, I need to put more glue. It doesn't really matter that much because that will be glued to the back and you really will not see it. So I think I need to hold it a little bit. Just like that. Okay, here's our file folder. So now I can apply my Velcro dots. I buy my Velcro dots from Dollar Tree store. There is a pack, I think, of 20 of them. So they last a little while. It's only $1. So now I'm gonna take that Velcro and I'm gonna put it right on the other side of our little notch. And when we close it, just make sure it sticks. And here it is, our file folder. So you see, that's the reason why I wanted to double up on this fold, because when you try to remove it, you don't want to start breaking this top paper. So now we can bring our folio and now we can glue this just like that. So for this portion you could use your double-sided tape. Might be actually easier, but I will use glue because double-sided tape adheres right away. With glue you have to make sure that it actually adheres. That's why double-sided tape might be actually better for this part of it. But we can do this, and then after we apply it, we can go from the inside and make sure that it sticks. And I'm gonna take my longer piece to make sure it gets there. You could also use a ruler for this portion. And we just want to make sure that everything is nice and stuck. And it looks like this. So now we can close it. And here is my pen. And our folio is almost done. How cute is this? I think it came out adorable. I will apply one more Velcro to the front so we can close the front. Just like that in here. So I will apply it somewhere in the middle, just like that. Let's close this. Okay, I want to make sure that the Velcro sticks, so I'll just push it from here. It's stuck. And here is our folio. So I think it came out beautiful. I hope you like it. I think it's just beautiful, beautiful piece. So this is what we just created. This is what I created previously. So I'll put pen, pencil, it doesn't matter. I think the result is absolutely gorgeous. I hope you like it. I would love to see some of the pictures of that folio that you have done. I wonder if you will follow exactly this process. You're gonna decorate the way I did, or maybe you're gonna come up with something different. I would really love to see it. So I would appreciate it if you can share with me your end result of the project. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon.